Take a look at some of the SEC storylines as we get ready for another big weekend of SEC conference play. Arkansas-Alabama will be the showcase series this weekend. Arkansas in their midweek game, 69 home runs now, 6 coming yesterday. Here's Brewington with the slap out to McGuire. And McGuire's got to work quickly to get the speedy Brewington, which she does, 2 down.
And touching back on Arkansas, how impressive have they been this season? Not just in the pitcher's circle with Autumn Storms and Mary Half, but their bats are just phenomenal. Braxton Burnside, Danielle Gibson. How many records can they set in 1 year? You mentioned
how many records can they set in one day?
Yes. One day, right? Yesterday was a phenomenal day for the entire team. Not only did they set the single game home run record with 6, but they also set a new single season home run record for Arkansas, which previously was 65, and they are up to 69 home runs on the year.
69
home
home runs.
Do we have left?
And April 6th is the yeah, we have plenty of games left. They beat Missouri State on Tuesday. 9-1 was the final. Braxton Burnside hit home run number 20 on the season. And now the attention turns to their showdown against Alabama this weekend, the first top 10 series in Razorback history. Ground ball to first, gobbled up by Crupitt, and a 1-2-3 inning for CSU against Kelsey-O. 2-0 Carolina. Junior had an RBI single in the first, her third hit of the doubleheader. Called strike, it's 2-1.
Nice curveball outside to Jordan Fabian. Of course, Eden coming from the left side, throwing that backdoor curve, so she's going to start that ball in the left-handed batter's box, and it's going to cut back right across on the outside half of the plate to the righty.
Solid single to center field, kicked around by Brown, but holding it first is Fabian, who has her second hit of game 2 and her 4th hit of the doubleheader. So here's a look at the schedule this coming weekend. Alabama and Arkansas, the big showdown. Arkansas 12-0 in the SEC, first place. Alabama 9-3 in the conference in third place. We mentioned Ole Miss and South Carolina. And Auburn and Texas A&M will be our series, Madison. We'll have the Saturday 5 p.m. Eastern time game. And LSU and Mizzou will get together. LSU in 5th place, Mizzou in 4th place. They've won 4 in a row. You had a chance to call the Mizzou-South Carolina series, and you've been very impressed with how the Tigers are swinging the bats right now.
And I think their stats show it as well, but something that doesn't show up on a stat book that really impresses me about Missouri's offense is their ability to make adjustments to different pitches within the game. It doesn't matter if you throw them drop balls, rise balls, change-ups. They're going to figure out a way to hit the ball, and that's something that, unfortunately for South Carolina, they saw the brunt of this past weekend with Missouri putting up a couple of double-digit run numbers against them in the series.
2-1 the count to Chooch Carroll. Yes, South Carolina was swept by Missouri, outscored by an aggregate of 30-13. Give you an idea how Mizzou swung the bats. One other series this coming weekend, Georgia and Kentucky. Georgia 22nd in the country, Kentucky 11th. That'll be a Saturday to Monday series. You can see the 6 o'clock Eastern time matchup on Sunday here on the SEC Network. You know, 2 teams nationally ranked. This will give you an idea how tough and how deep the SEC is. Another one fouled off. Georgia's 4-5 and Kentucky's 4-5 in the SEC. So kind of a critical early April matchup there. A couple teams nationally ranked, but each a game under 500 entering that series.
Well, and you got a good look at Georgia this past weekend, taking game 1 from Florida. Mary Wilson Avant came out and threw really phenomenal game 1 and Georgia just wasn't
hitter.
able to get those next 2 wins. And for Kentucky, ended up losing the series to Tennessee after taking the series from Alabama the weekend before.
Swing and a miss. Carroll goes down. Strikeout number 2 for Bailey Eaton.
Nice job by Eaton, changing the eye level on this pitch. A rise ball on the outer half to Chooch Carroll, and you can see it on her face. She knows she just missed that pitch out of the zone. And a big strikeout for Eaton with a runner on base.
Here's Krupit. One team missing from the weekend schedule is Florida. They're hosting South Florida for a doubleheader today. 5th-ranked team in the country after taking 2 out of 3 from Georgia. We'll have non-conference this weekend before jumping back into play. Ground ball too short. Meckley gets the force, not in time to get Krupin 2 down.
A smart play defensively by Meckley to take that ball herself and touch second base. Those are the types of plays where it's really hard to flip that ball over to second when you're so close. Sometimes as a shortstop, you end up throwing it a little bit too hard to your second baseman when you're that close to the base. So a good job of communicating and ensuring that they got that lead force out at second base to keep a runner out of scoring position.
Maddie Gallagher takes ball 1. Gallagher 1 for 4 in the doubleheader with a run batted in. One and one. Blocked by
Ashley
Cribb.
Continues
Yep,
to
Krupin
work
has to hold
back
it
there.
first.
That changeup down in the dirt. I like that Eaton's trying to change speeds a little bit. Let's go of that one too early. Go straight down into the dirt. And Ashlyn Cribb just a wall back behind the plate.
Melissa Heinrich got the starting game 1 for CSU. Went the first 4, gave up 7 hits, 4 runs, walked 2. Holly Clark came in, pitched 2/3 of an inning. Walked 4, gave up 4 runs. Then Eaton came in, kept things in check. South Carolina had a couple of opportunities to end it early with run rule situations, but Eaton got out of the jams. We went the full 7, but South Carolina won at 9-2. That one is slicing foul. As Krupin will head back to first with 2 down here in the bottom of the 3rd.
And Eric, you and I were talking in between games. We were kind of surprised that we didn't see Anna Younga coming out in the circle to start for Charleston Southern, but Coach Musser must have liked the momentum that Eaton got in game 1 and carrying that into game 2 here.
It was not a promising start for Eaton in the first. Gave up 4 straight hits, but got 3 ground balls after that. Yielded just the 2 runs. Gave up a 2-out double in the second that was harmless. And gave up a leadoff single here in the 3rd that proved to be harmless as Eaton gets the strikeout to retire the side. 2-0 South Carolina heading to the 4th. Runners on base so far as we get set for the top half of the 4th inning on a warm April evening in Columbia. Alyssa Kumiyama comes on to play first base for South Carolina. And the first pitch from O is swung on by Meckley and grabbed by Bozel and Schowel right field, 1 down.
And it really seems like Kelsey O's starting to settle in the circle. Retired 3 in a row last inning. Starting out this one, 1 pitch, 1 out here in the top of the 4th.
First pitch from O to Cooper, misses for ball 1. Cooper struck out in the first. One of 2 strikeouts for Kelsey O. Popped up, foul ground, diving bid by Blampede coming in from third base. Almost got there.
Looked like she got a good jump on it too. Just wasn't able to get there in time, but a great effort by the third baseman. Who, remember, just got her first start at third base this past weekend against Missouri. And her first start, first time out there on defense, the first ball goes right to her. What a better way to welcome you to the SEC than first ground ball in a position you've never played before. Here it is.
I mean, if there were betting odds, if there were betting odds on the chances of a ball being hit to a freshman making her first appearance at third base in the SEC game, I'd say the odds are like, I don't know, what are the best odds you can come up with? Like, it was guaranteed to happen. It was going to find her.
I was going to say the ball always seems to find you in those situations.
Yep.
But she seemed to settle in at third base quite nicely for South Carolina's defense.
Up high, count goes full. Three, 2-2, Cooper. Can't catch that one. 2 down.
Again, Kelsey O really settling in, and I think it's her ability to throw this curveball and screwball for a strike consistently. This is a curveball on the inside half of the plate, right below the letters, and gets Erica Cooper swinging for strikeout number 2. 3 strikeouts.
Strike 1 to Sarah Brown. Ground ball back to O. And a 1-2-3 inning for the second straight inning for Kelsey O. Played 3.5 in Columbia. South Carolina on top 2-0.
Hit a ball earlier this season at Auburn that I don't think has landed yet. She hit it so far, so I'm really looking forward to this matchup. Not just what we're going to see offensively from both of these teams, but also what we're going to see in the circle as well. Alabama has a phenomenal staff in Lexi Kilfoyle and Montana Fouts, but also for Arkansas, Mary Half and Autumn Storms have been throwing really well for them this year.
Yeah, the staff ERA for Arkansas is 1.42, which is number 1 in the SEC. You add that to their 69 home runs. That's getting you covered in the circle and at the plate. That's why they're off to a 12-0 start. Best start for a conference team in the SEC since Florida's 13-0 start back in 2009. Two and 2 the count to Riley Blampy, the freshman, leading off here in the 4th inning for South Carolina on top 2-0. First 4 Carolina hitters reach base via hit. Infield single for McGuire, double for Bozel, Fabian had a single. Carroll had a single. McGuire and Bosel scored. Those are the only runs given up by Bailey Eaton, who has settled down since then. Gave up a double in the second and a single in the third as she pitches here in the fourth.
One of the things that I think has made Eaton successful after that first inning is her ability to throw those pitches in the strike zone. That one we saw miss just a bit high, but also being able to throw that changeup for a strike as well. Adds a whole new dynamic to her pitches. And I think that's why we've seen a couple of ground ball outs along with the 3 strikeouts for her today.
And Blampede works a walk to lead off the fourth.
Eaton tried to come in with that changeup yet again and hung on to it just a bit too long, but I like the confidence being able to throw that in a full count. If you can get that pitch consistently, even in a count like that, you'll definitely have some success moving on throughout the rest of the season past this game.
First walk issued by Bailey Eaton in both games of the doubleheader. Went an inning and a third in game 1, pitching in the fourth here in game 2. As Katie Preble steps in. Preble struck out in the second. She's 0 for 2 in the doubleheader. Ground ball too short. Meckley gets the force. Throw to first is not in time. 1 away.
And another ground ball out by Eaton.
One down, and Aaliyah White will come to the plate. Friday at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 Central, we'll have the first game of a big 3-game series between second-ranked Arkansas, third-ranked Ole Miss in Oxford. Razorbacks and Rebels lead the SEC West at 7-2. SEC Baseball, also available on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. Ole Miss and Arkansas. Great showdown in Oxford. And we talked about the Arkansas-Alabama showdown in softball. As Aaliyah White is aboard, so first and second for South Carolina.
And it looks like Coach Musser is asking the home plate umpire if it was a foul ball on that bunt off the bat of Aaliyah White. I think she's looking to see if she can ask for help. And it does look like the umpires are going to come together and talk about that one. Aaliyah White squaring to bunt. It had a lot of spin on it, but let's see where Ashlyn Cribb picks it up. If it is in contact with the chalk line, then it is a fair ball.
Well, Cameron
that was a
Ellison,
close play.
Yeah, Cameron Ellison, the plate umpire, had the front row seat for it.
And I almost wonder if Cribb would have let it spin a little bit more if it would have ended up going farther foul.
Yeah, I think that's what the debate is. It looks like it's in foul ground to me. Like, to your point, well, when she picks it up, there looked like there's just a smidge of chalk maybe that pulled up.
Is that chalk that comes
Yeah.
up? Maybe that's what the home plate umpire's seeing. I definitely see where Christy Musser is coming from on the argument on that one. The only thing I can say is as a catcher, you want to make sure that the ball is even farther out in foul ground before you grab that one, especially with something with as much spin as that ball had.
So scored a bunt single for White. Moving Preble down to second. Back to the top of the order for Kenzie McGuire. Singled and scored in the first, doubled in the second. 5 for 6 today in the doubleheader, with 3 runs scored. 2-0.
Almost seems like Eaton's being a little bit too careful here to Kenzie McGuire up at the plate. That pitch falling down in the zone. I know it can be frustrating, but you just have to continue to pound that strike zone, attack these batters. And she does that right there on that pitch.
(3-1). Fly ball to right field, and it will get all the way to the wall. Gagliano grabs it, one runs in. They're waving in the second one right behind, and the tag is not in time. South Carolina scores 2 to make it 4-0.
Kenzie McGuire coming through yet again, a pitch that is low and inside, and she hits it opposite field over the head of Megan Gagliano in right field. But look at the speed of Aaliyah White. Comes in and able to score 2 runs on that one. I thought it was only going to be 1 run, but then I saw Aaliyah White hustling around the bases to get that second run across for South Carolina.
Did you hear just a moment ago the train whistle in the distance? You know, that was like the engine and the first boxcar, and then Aaliyah White was just like attached to Preble in front of her. And that will be the last pitch that Bailey Eaton throws. New pitcher coming on for Charleston Southern. We'll tell you about Anna Younga in a moment. Anna Younga, who is the team leader in strikeouts and innings pitched, making her first appearance of the doubleheader. In the circle, she did pinch hit in game 1 at the plate, and her first pitch to Mackenzie Bozel is in there for strike 1.
And Anna Younga likes to throw a little bit of everything. She's got a screwball, curveball combo, so she works both sides of the plate. And she's also developing a drop ball to throw that down in the zone to induce a lot of ground balls. The coach said she has a lot of spin and the ball moves quite a bit because she's had to catch a couple of bullpens. She's had to gear up this year, Coach Musser has, and catch some bullpens for her squad.
That's right. When you have one catcher in Ashland Cribb, you got to give her a break once in a while. Ground ball to the shortstop, Meckley to first. McGuire comes in to score to add to the South Carolina lead.
And Bozel hits that ball up the middle just enough to allow Kenzie McGuire to score from third base. The only play that Ashley Meckley had on that ball was at first. So even though she records another out, another run comes across the board for South Carolina.
And another RBI for Bozel, her second of the game and her fourth of the doubleheader. Here's Jordan Fabian. Fabian's had a good night. Singled in a run in the first, singled to center in the third. And that one will hit her on the foot.
And those are the free passes that can really come back to hurt you if you're Charleston Southern. You have an opportunity with the bases clear to kind of reset your defense, and right there you put another runner on base without forcing them to swing the bat.
I'll bring up Chooch Carroll. Single to left in the first, struck out in the third. Freshman takes strike 1. Carroll lifts one deep to left field, and that one is gone. Freshman Chooch Carroll has her first collegiate home run. It will not be her last. 7-0.
I think Coach Smith was onto something when she said that Chooch Carroll has the potential to be one of the big-time power hitters in her lineup, and we saw a great example of it right there. A pitch left over the heart of the plate, and she takes advantage of it and drives that thing well over the left field wall for a 2-run home run for the Gamecocks, and her entire team is so excited for Carroll in the dugout right now.
Here's Alyssa Kumiyama. Well, I think Chooch Carroll was smiling when she took a strike early in this game. I can only imagine that grin is getting even wider after hitting a 2-run home run to get her first collegiate home run.
And she was smiling, and it was the pitch that she struck out on, a rise ball back in the 3rd inning. But a great adjustment that she made coming into that very next at-bat, knowing she had an opportunity with a runner on board to score another run, and gets all of that pitch and blasts it for a home run.
Chooch Carroll playing in her 16th game at the collegiate level. Comes up with her first homer. Kumiyama with a ground ball through into left field for a base hit.
Kumiyama actually mishits this ball just a bit, gets on top of it, but able to poke that one through the 5-6 hole for another base hit for the Gamecocks. And another 2-out hit for the Gamecocks as well, something that they've done well for this squad all day long. Back to game 1, very productive with 2 outs. And here they're carrying that over here into game 2 of this doubleheader.
That's something, again, that Bev Smith, head coach, was talking about this week, about this team, the reason why they're off to an 0-9 start in the SEC, or one of the key reasons, not the reason, but one of the key reasons is just lacking those timely hits, coming up with key RBI and key moments. They've also had, on the flip side, trouble limiting teams when there's a key moment for that team. Things have snowballed on Carolina on both sides, in the field and at the plate. Not always a good thing, but tonight, bit of different story in this midweek non-league matchup against Charleston Southern.
Well, and to your point, Eric, if for South Carolina, it comes down to limiting the big inning when you're on defense, and a prime example of that was the game against Missouri on Saturday, where they gave up 9 runs in just the top of the 2nd. So it's hard to come back from that when you're giving up that many runs in the same inning.
Addie Gallagher with a soft liner to second to retire the side, but 5 runs in the inning for South Carolina. No doubt the big blast.
Chooch Carroll, how about this for your first career home run? A 2-run blast out into the night in left field. South Carolina with the lead. After righties, but working in this curveball as well. Racking up the strikeouts for the Gamecocks tonight. After giving up those first 2 leadoff walks, she's really settled in, found the strike zone, able to get ahead of batters and mix in that rise ball every once in a while as well.
Now working with a 7-0 lead, and Brianna Hubbard fouls off the first pitch. Hubbard grounded out to second in the 2nd. South Carolina used 3 pitchers in game 1. That Misses. It's 2-1. Carson Oaks started, went 2. Bailey Bettenbaugh came on and pitched the next 3, and then Leah Powell pitched the final 2. Pitched well, didn't give up a hit or a run or a walk, struck out 3. After those back-to-back walks to start the game, has really settled in, has allowed just 1 base runner since then, and a ground ball right on the bag. A little tricky play for Kumiyama, who had plenty of time to make it. 1 down.
Another example of that ball finding you on the field when you get put out there defensively. That was actually a tricky play and a nice job by Kumiyama to keep that one from going out into the outfield. Because she was playing back behind first base, that ball looked like it almost could have hit first base, but she was able to snag it and record out number 1.
Ball 1 to Megan Gagliano. One and 1. Charleston Southern out of the Big South. They've lost some tough ones. They've had 4 one-run losses this season. Slow roller with the backhand on the first. 2 down. Well, Madison Shipman, what are you doing on Sunday nights?
I'm doing a little bit of rally cap.
Yes,
Can't wait
you
to get
are.
back at it.
It's back
So
for another
excited.
season. Break down the week that was in baseball and softball, highlights, analysis, interviews, much, much more. You also get a look ahead to the upcoming week's best matchups. Rally cap with Madison Shipman coming up 8 o'clock Eastern Time here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app on Sunday. Quick hitting for 7-0, heading to the bottom of the 5th.
And the reason why I like that stat so much is because with 2 outs, you don't have the opportunity to have a sac fly to get an RBI. But with 2 outs, you have to get a base hit out there in the field, and that's exactly what South Carolina is doing. And they've been able to consistently put together quality at-bats, not just in this game, but also Game 1 as well, that I guarantee is going to carry on over into the weekend.
Blampede with a swing and a miss against Yunga. South Carolina batted around in the 4th inning, scored 5 runs. The big hit, 2-run home run from Chooch Carroll. Kenzie McGuire had a 2-run double in the inning. South Carolina will hit the road this weekend. They'll be at Ole Miss for 3 games. Charleston Southern will begin a 3-game series with Gardner-Webb. Big South matchup. Blampede with a fly ball to the left fielder, Hubbard, 1 down.
Nice job by Anna Yunga just settling in, getting Blampede to swing at a pitch and just get underneath it enough to fly out to left field to record the first out of this inning.
Pinch hitter for Katie Preble will be Zoe Leno. Freshman had 3 plate appearances in Game 1, a couple of walks. Line shot will get through. Soft liner into right field, so Leno is on board with a 1-out single.
Pinch hit at bats are so difficult for batters because you have to stay locked in the entire time and just be ready whenever your name is called upon. And Zoe Leno comes in, gets a pitch she can handle, and pokes it right through the 3-4 hole to get a runner on board for South Carolina.
Aaliyah White slaps one through the left side into left field, looking for the force at second. Won't be there in time. First and second for South Carolina with one out, and now the lineup turns over, and here comes Kenzie McGuire, who is 6 for 7 in the doubleheader with 5 runs batted in and 4 runs scored.
A game-ending opportunity for Kenzie McGuire here because we're in the bottom of the 5th inning. South Carolina has a 7-run lead. Just one more run would end this game early.
And McGuire has produced her share of runs. 2-run double her last time in the 4th. Singled in the 1st and scored, doubled in the 2nd, doubled in the 4th. Here's the 1-1 to Kenzie McGuire from Anna Younga. And he'll have to wait. Younga was shaking off Cribb.
There's that communication between pitcher and catcher. Obviously, Anna Younga has a pitch in mind that she wants to throw specifically to Kenzie McGuire here. Comes in with the changeup. Just hangs onto it a bit too long, and that's why you saw it sail up and outside. And now Ashlyn Cribb's going to come out and have a conversation with Younga, maybe to get an idea of what she's looking to throw in this situation. I like the idea to throw that changeup, though, knowing that Kenzie McGuire has been so successful all game long, change things up a little bit, but just not able to get that pitch down in the zone for a strike.
Ground ball back up the middle for a base hit. Leno being held at third, so the bases are loaded. Another hit for Kenzie McGuire, 4 for 4 tonight in Game 2 of the doubleheader.
There's literally just no pitch you can get past Kenzie McGuire tonight, and this one hit off the end of the bat a little bit into center field. And for a second, I thought they were going to try to score Zoe Leno from second base, but instead they decide to hold her up. And now the base is loaded for Mackenzie Boesel.
Boesel doubled in a run and scored in the first, grounded to second in the second, and grounded to short in the fourth with an RBI. Looking to end it right here for South Carolina. 1 run is all it would take for the Gamecocks to get the sweep. Boesel with 4 runs batted in the doubleheader. Ground ball too short. They come to the plate to get the force. 2 down in the 5th. Bases still loaded, but a huge play there as Meckley came up with it.
A great job by Meckley at short, knowing that she had to come up and throw to home. That was her only option. If she went anywhere else, the game was over. And she was able to stop that ball and fire it over to Ashlyn Cribb to prevent that run from scoring and to keep this game alive.
Still 1 out needed here in this 5th inning. Fabian with a pop-up foul ground right side out of play. Fabian singled in a run in the first. Singled again in the third, was hit by a pitch and scored in the 5-run 4th inning for South Carolina. Aaliyah White, the winning run at third base for South Carolina here in the 5th.
And Eric, coming into today, South Carolina was hitting .083 with the bases loaded. So here is a great opportunity for Jordan Fabian to capitalize on the fact that they've got the bases loaded here, even though there are 2 outs, but to still come through with a run.
Younger just missed. It's 2-1. Two-one to Fabian. Ground ball up the middle, a base hit, and South Carolina will win it. Jordan Fabian comes through with the bases loaded, Madison, and that's a fitting end to how South Carolina wanted to perform here in this midweek doubleheader, to try to clean up some of the problems they'd had in SEC play, and they come up with a victory, 9-0 the final in 5 innings.
Well, that'll definitely raise that bases loaded batting average. A nice job, not just by Jordan Fabian, but really the lineup 1 through 9 for South Carolina, being able to come through with runners on base and coming out with 2 wins here again today versus Charleston Southern.
Goes into the books as an 8-0 victory for South Carolina in game number 2 after winning game 1 9-2 the final. So a sweep for South Carolina and the win in game 2 to Kelsey O, who gave up just 1 hit in 5 innings. For Madison Shipman and our entire crew, once again, the final score 8-0 South Carolina. I'm Eric Freed. That is all in Columbia. Coming up next, it's True South. Have a great night.